Uh, Song you're listening to, Got My Back, Denzel Curry. I'm your host, Christopher Davis. This is Spittin Game.
I'm Rob, co-host.
Give me a second. All right. Welcome to the show. Welcome to the show. That's just a short intro. This is what we do here. We catch a quick 5-minute vibe, enjoy the time together. Then we get into a little bit of sports analysis, a little bit of music. Then we just enjoy it. So, as you can tell, I am a Panthers fan. I am from North Carolina. We suck this year. I'm not going to cap. 5-11. You know, all the talent we got on our team. And yeah, and there will be some Teddy Bridgewater slander. Some.
I think he did a pretty good job.
Hey, bro. You ain't seen the games, bro. You weren't watching them, bro. We were, I think it was 1-7 in games with one score or less when our quarterback had the ball. 1-7. I'm just saying. And as I was watching the games, I love my boy Teddy. I love his story. Came up, injured, had won a bowl game at Louisville, had that massive injury in Minnesota, right?
Yeah.
Went to New Orleans, 5-0, balls out. Love him. But start off 3-2. I got hope. And then 2 wins, 9 losses later.
I know that's tough. That is tough.
And we got the number 6 pick. So, and I'm hearing these Deshaun Watson rumors. Listen.
Deshaun is going to the Jets. He is not going to Carolina.
Bro, how he going to the Jets? Please elaborate.
Going to the Jets. Houston's going to take Sam Darnold and a first round pick, which is going to be the number 2 pick in the draft.
Yeah.
Which I think some other things too as well. So.
That's the scary part for me as a Panthers fan because I'm like, dang. But Houston could be desperate because we don't got no picks. So I would say number 8, which is a horrible pick. I know. What are they going to get there? But hey, we can give them Teddy. We can give them a solid quarterback, right? We can give them Teddy, the number 8. Maybe one of our corners. I don't know. Something. Because we went 5-11. And as a fan of this team, I love this team with my whole heart. Ever since I was a kid. But damn, we literally were like, okay, screw this old regime, keep Christian McCaffrey. Sign a couple good wide receivers. Bunch of talented players on our offense. A young defense that was improving week by week. And we only won 5 games.
Just trust the process. That you know what that tells me? If you have a decent,
we better have a year like Miami next year. All I'm saying, we played teams too tough.
I think y'all might. I just think that if you have a decent quarterback, decent wide receivers, a solid defense for the young players, I think that's on the coaches. Like you can't have that many good or decent players and not go like at least 7 wins. You know what I'm saying?
True. All right, but real quick, talk about your favorite team, the team that I have a love-hate relationship with all the time. Because, my Panthers ain't always in the playoffs, so I got to root for my boy Drew Brees down there in New Orleans. I know that sounds controversial, but hey, just talk about your Saints, boy.
Yeah, basically I'm from New Orleans, so obviously got to cheer for the home team, the New Orleans Saints, ride or die. But I'm also a big Steelers fan as well. So those are kind of my 2 teams right now, and it's unfortunate because I don't think either is going to go to the going to go to the championship. So it's tough.
Dang. Why you hating on your teams like that?
I'm not hating on them. It's just I don't have confidence in them.
Got you.
Nah.
Because my thing is like, okay, yeah, I would say, and we might be doing Super Bowl picks right now. I don't know. We're sporadic. We're a little random, but it's all right. But I would say I'm picking Green Bay, and it's because I'm biased towards this player because he is my favorite player in the NFL right now. I truly think Lamar Jackson might go on a run, like an all-time run. Now listen, before you say anything, we got like two more. We got 48 hours until he has to play the Titans. We got a couple hours before he plays the Titans. I get it, the playoff stigma, everything they said about him, but they've been fighting ever since they went 7 and they were like what 6-5.
Yeah.
They won 5 straight. And yes, you could say it was an easy schedule, Cowboys, Bengals, blah, blah, blah. I want to hear none of that. They beat the teams that they were supposed to. They got in, and after he had to run, go handle whatever he had to handle the Matthew versus the Browns, it was a different guy. He was different. He was built different. All I'm going to say. Now, do I really think that's going to happen? Maybe. The smart pick would be Packers Chiefs. Easily. It's
Yeah,
simple.
easily.
Patrick Mahomes, Aaron Rodgers, the whole story. NFL's just going to eat that up, right? But I truly, truly think that this might be the year Lamar goes on the run. And this could be horribly wrong, and by tomorrow I will be eating my words and being upset
Tomorrow
about this.
you will be eating your words, bro.
Yeah.
You will be eating your
Damn.
words.
And yes, it is because Derrick Henry's a different breed. So talk about Derrick Henry, though, because that
All
don't
right.
make no sense.
So Derrick Henry, 2,000-yard season, on the 8th player in NFL history to have that happen. I think he led the league in rushing touchdowns as well. And if you see his games when he turns up the most, he can come up clutch, and that's the most important part. You could be a stat sheet stuffer, but what's really like counts is how impactful you are when the game is on the line. Can you put the team on your back? And Derrick Henry has been one of the more valuable players in the NFL throughout this season, because if they didn't have a running back like him, I don't think Ryan Tannehill nor, AJ Brown or, any other wide receivers on the Tennessee Titans would be able to have 1,000-yard seasons or 900-yard seasons and stuff like that. So I think that the Ravens defense is solid. I actually do think the Ravens are going to win versus the Titans. I do want to say that because they're very similar teams, really run heavy. The only difference is that Tennessee on offense passes a little bit better. Ravens don't as much, or didn't, at least in the regular season, at least in the first half. But the main difference is the defense. Tennessee Titans defense isn't that great.
Tissue paper.
Baltimore Ravens defense is top 10, if not probably around top 5. So I think that's the difference, and I think that defense, wins championships. So I have to go with the Ravens in this one. If they can find a way to stop Derrick Henry, probably blitz him and keep blitzing him and tackle him before he even gets started. Because once he gets started, it's GG.
Yeah, it's done.
Yeah, but if they stop him before he really gets started, I think that they're going to force Tannehill to throw it, and I haven't seen Tannehill be clutch like that yet. So.
Yeah. And the one thing that I want to just point out, though, like through this entire NFL season, is that to Buffalo Bills fans, and hopefully we gain a fan base while watching the show, as a Panthers fan, I kind of hate y'all because y'all took our defensive coordinator, 10 of our players, and now y'all are 13-3. People are saying y'all can dethrone the Chiefs. Proud of y'all, though. Proud of y'all. Shout out Sean McDermott. Thank you for that, helping us with that Super Bowl run season, bro. Appreciate you. But Josh Allen has, to me, right now, and this might be controversial, has more arm talent and pure skill as a quarterback than Lamar. If you can argue that, yes, running ability, Lamar is second to none, only to Michael Vick. Got it. But as a thrower, pure passer of what you want, and he has that little athletic side, Josh Allen's probably the best and most underrated player going into these playoffs. Like, he had an MVP-type season, and it's not even getting mentioned because of how great Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes were. Not even getting mentioned. And let's just go through their losses. They lost to Kansas City, the defending champs, right? That was a game rescheduled because of COVID. They lost to Tennessee. Another game rescheduled because of COVID. It had not been DeAndre Hopkins making one of the most insane plays we've ever seen on a
Yeah,
football field.
that was wild. Yeah,
Just Hail Murray, just all three dudes.
three
Watching that,
like
watching that
three like
live, bro.
really good players. That's crazy.
Is
Like that was
had it
wild.
not been for that, they would have gone. Let's just say, include the Titans and Chiefs losses, 14-2. Had it not been for the Hail Murray. So you're telling me that that team doesn't have a chance because of it's the Bills, 4 straight Super Bowls that they lost. They always choke. I really don't think that. I really think that they are a team of destiny. And shout out to Stephon Diggs. I don't know what happened in Minnesota because, provided one of the greatest sports memories ever for me, the Minneapolis Miracle. And they ain't even want to give him a lifetime
Oh,
contract after that. Like, that was sad. I was like,
that
damn,
made me
like,
mad,
they
bro.
traded you
Because
after you did that? Like,
it really made me mad because like Marcus Williams had a really good year as a rookie. He had like 4 or 5 interceptions as a
oh,
his
I know
rookie
you would pick.
year, and then all he had to do was just tackle, bro,
Yeah, that's tough.
and whiff. Like
Yeah.
that's tough.
And
Yeah, I
my thing
don't.
is, like, what I see with Saints fans and what I'm sorry, guys, I don't know what's been happening since y'all won the Super Bowl, but every time y'all make the playoffs, it's it's heartbreak. Like
Oh,
y'all, like what y'all did against Minnesota last year. Like what happened?
that's defense easily. Marshall Lattimore has not been stepping up to the plate like he did his rookie season,
Mm.
and then I don't know why, but there's this corner named PJ Williams still on the Saints. I don't know why he's still on the Saints. I don't know why he's even in the NFL because he's not an NFL caliber cornerback. Was on what was that Mason Rudolph, the
Yeah,
tight end? That's an easy
Kyle
touchdown.
Rudolph.
Like you just threw it up to him, caught it, touchdown, end of the game. I was just like, bro, come on, man. But
Yeah,
that's the main reason why last year they lost. Obviously you had the terrible penalty call versus the
yeah. That
Rams.
like I've never seen a time where me and my guys, we were all watching it, and the utter shock on our face, we were just looking for that flag because we were like, wait. Then when none of us saw it, all of us just were like, "Oh my God, that really happened." And
At
yes,
first,
now mind you, Drew Brees did have that ball first in overtime. Let's not forget that. Horrible call aside, that probably shifted the momentum of the game. Got you right, but ugh, like he
nah, no
did, like
buts,
they
no
did
buts.
get, he did throw that pick. Then
Nah,
Jared Goff, did the thing, let him
nah.
down, field goal, game's over.
I'm not going for that. No, because if they would have just called the penalty, it would the Saints would have been in the Super Bowl, and I think they would have beat the Patriots
Easily. But that's
easily.
one of those we'll never know in NFL history. But my
No.
thing, and it's a terrible we'll never know. My thing as a Panthers fan, did we throw the game so Peyton Manning could go out holding that Lombardi trophy? Yes, we did. Cam should have fallen on the ball 100%. 100%. But are you telling me that Peyton Manning, the guy, he's literally like the wonder bread of the NFL? And no, that's not a comment about how white he is, because yes, we know Peyton Manning's hella white. But he's literally the toast of the NFL. They love him to death. They do anything for him. So you telling me that Super Bowl, we were 15-1, had the better offense, beat better defenses that year. I get it. The Broncos were on one in 2015. I get it. Peyton Manning was not that good.
Yes, he was. That was his MVP season. That was
Nah,
when he
that was 2013. That was when this is the end of Peyton Manning. This is the 9 touchdown, 17 interception Peyton Manning.
Oh, okay, okay.
This is him falling off, and when people were like, Brock Osweiler, should he start in the Super Bowl? Like that's how bad it was. Brock Osweiler,
I forgot he existed.
bro, he robbed the Texans and was probably chilling somewhere, man. Just man. Shout out to some of the finesse kings in the NFL, though. Shout out to them because wow, the amount of money they're taking away from
What's that?
certain
What's that?
people. Got you.
Are you good?
Yeah. But the one thing that I'm seeing is just certain finesse kings, bro. Like that was amazing. And also, and we are all for the free Deshaun Watson. It's the same how I'm feeling for Bradley Beal right now. Get him off these trash teams. For the love of God, I want to see them win. Deshaun,
Yeah, that's a fact.
after you go up 24-0 in the first quarter, you should not lose that game.
Nah, at
Like,
all.
that's where I was like, oh, they're gonna be destroyed after this. There's no way they're bouncing back from this next year.
But
Like,
I don't get it. Like, bro, they really should have won that game. Like, the Chiefs should not have won that game. Like, I remember watching it. I was like, this is game over. It was like, wasn't it like, it was it 24 points or was it 31 points? By the
24. It was 24. And then they have the fake. Then Kansas City scores, and then they run a fake punt on 4th and 3 or something. And then once Daniel Sorensen tackled him, I was like, oh, it's on. But the fact that Kansas City scored 28 in a quarter, like that's basketball type stuff.
yeah,
Okay,
that's
you in an NFL game against professionals, you are not supposed to allow somebody to
yeah,
score
score 28. Yeah,
in a
that's
quarter. That's terrifying. Then they put 51 up on you. You're just supposed to be like, oh, all right, well, Bill Brown's like, well, we were unprepared. They could trade DeAndre Hopkins.
yeah. I don't know why they
Now,
did it.
to Texans fans too, you're in a state of disarray. I'm sorry. I'm so
I
sorry.
feel bad for Houston, man. I like Houston the city, so I feel bad for him. That's tough.
And Harden might leave. You hear Deshaun
Oh
and
yeah,
Harden might leave? Yeah,
Harden
Houston
is definitely gonna
sports.
leave. I don't know about this season, but maybe by the time the trade deadline is over with, he would probably leave. If not this season, definitely next season. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
But how I'm feeling for Harden leaving is like, I want to see him win
mm,
because I hate all the playoff slander. And I'll get into playoff slander and all of that. But like, this generation of sports fans, the ones that we're raised up in, it's not like the old barbershop debates where you could watch a game, go sit down, get your hair cut, talk about what happened, who scored, and
hmm
everybody be biased there. Everybody who's 13 and has a Twitter just fires off and knows nothing about sports, any
that's like,
context or anything. Now, with that being said, Paul George Slater is hilarious. It's
it
warranted,
is. It is
but
hilarious.
remember how good he is. I just want to remind people Paul George is good. He is a borderline great player. But the playoff slander, it's warranted, but sometimes it extends too far. It extends too far. It's fair, but it's just a little too much. How do you feel about that, though?
It For the playoffs, I wouldn't say it's too. I think right now in the regular season it's too far because it's only been a few games, and they're already blaming him for the 50-point deficit that they had versus the Mavs. But I think in the playoffs, there that's a lot of players, not only in the NBA but in the NFL. They do great all regular season, but then when the playoffs comes, they just are nowhere to be found. Like even Steph Curry sometimes when he goes to the playoffs, he goes to the championship like Iguodala, didn't he win MVP
Yeah,
over Curry?
but that
What?
was
Like, come
because he
on, man.
allegedly like strapped up LeBron, but like LeBron had like a 28-point triple double in that. Like,
I know. I'm just saying. It's just
yeah,
like if you're somebody in the regular season, everybody sees clearly as the MVP. I think he had a unanimous vote. I think
yeah,
like you need to show up in the playoffs, similar to Giannis. Like
yeah, yeah,
MVP, what 2 times or just
yeah,
once?
two
Two
times
times. We're
back to back.
knocked out first round. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Like, come on, man. You can't be doing that. Like, you have to step up in the playoffs. And I get that. Paul George was great in the regular season last year, but when it came to the playoffs, he kind of choked. I don't. Yeah, okay. So maybe it is too far because I think that it's not your regular playoffs. It's
Yeah,
you're in a bubble, no contact with family, no loved ones or significant others.
mhm.
It's just you, a whole bunch of other men in this one
Yeah,
like
just all
area.
alone.
Nah.
And my thing with the bubble and like how the NBA handled that, yo, Adam Silver, if you could handle COVID protocols for America,
Yeah.
that would be great. Because I don't know how y'all never got cases, but the NFL is like a weekly thing of, well,
Yeah.
this team has COVID. Yeah, well, gotta keep playing, gotta keep doing it. Money, we need it, but that's that's crazy though, because the NBA managed to completely isolate their players, still put on a great product of games. And it looks way better than the regular season sometimes. Like there were some games, Damian Lillard went insane, and
Yeah. Jamal Murray went insane.
Jamal Murray, and
Crazy.
yeah, and also like I think, and this might be controversial, Jamal Murray might have been the person who benefited most from the bubble because
Yeah.
I've only seen like one such performance from him this regular season like that.
Him or what's the dude named PJ Warren?
Yeah, T.J. Warren. Yeah,
Yeah, TJ Warren. TJ Warren.
yeah, like that was something where I was like, dang, we didn't know. I knew
Right, I
Jamal
didn't know
Murray could hoop, but I
he
didn't
dropped
think
51.
he was dropping 50, 40, like
Yeah,
just
that was
back to
crazy.
back.
But
I'm like, I ain't never seen you play like this in the if Jokic is already hooping. If you were doing this in the regular season, y'all would have been the favorites. But that's
yeah,
how it is. That's how it is.
sure.
But I really think though, when I'm listening to all these NBA players and they're like, "Yo, some people are benefiting from the bubble. Some people are just like, some people just need that silence. Some people need the hype of the crowd." Paul George might be one of those people. But everybody's saying, "Oh, you soft, you're weak, you're trash." I'm like, it's fair because they did go outside. Like that
Yeah,
3-1 collapse, if you're up double digits against that team every elimination game, and you choke, and you
yeah,
choke. In game 7, you hit the side of the backboard, and everybody's just like, oh wow, okay, well, way off P. It's official. Paul George is trash. And my thing with that is that Denver had already come back from down 3-1.
hmm
So they were already cool with their backs being against the wall.
yeah,
The other thing with that is the Clippers themselves, how they were situated. It was just you put two stars together and you hope that they would have chemistry, but you didn't practice together that much.
hmm
And then you have the bubble, so you're already isolated and you already don't have that chemistry together. So you're not close.
yeah,
And then you're like, let's just go, let's try to win. But that's still not an excuse for winning one more game. So then you would have played the Lakers.
yeah, yeah. They should
All
have
the
just.
joke y'all was talking, all of it was just, it was well deserved. That I think the team slander of the Clippers, that was
Yeah,
deserved.
that was well deserved for
Because
real.
they were looking at LeBron like, oh, this gonna be easy. We gonna sweep them. It's effortless. We got Kawhi, we got PG, and I'm like, still
Yeah,
title town. And yes, I am a Lakers fan. And when I say that, yes, Lakers. I also like LeBron. But Kobe was my first athlete who I was like, yo, that's who that's the great right there. That was Kobe for me, which is
hmm
why his passing it hit.
yeah,
It really hit because that's my guy. Like ever since I was a little kid, I was like I hated LeBron because of how good Kobe was to me. Anytime I saw LeBron, I'm like, man, he trash. He ain't clutch. Take that shot, bro. You got to. You ain't like Kobe. You ain't built like that. And now I'm just like, well, never mind. He is built like that. He definitely
yeah.
he built
You wanted,
different.
you wanted to finish the wild card stuff, right? Quick.
Yeah. So with my wild card picks, I think it's probably gonna be Bills. Definitely gonna win that game. Don't trust Philip Rivers in the playoffs.
Okay. Yeah.
I think who else?
Browns,
Steelers.
Steelers.
Steelers, Browns, that could be tough to call. That's a toss up. And everybody's like, but Cleveland, they don't got any players, any coaches. Mm, it's the Steelers. It's the Steelers in this playoff moment. I don't trust them because of how they finished the regular season. Like they went 1-4 after being 11-0, top of the world. Juju doing TikTok dances on every logo.
Mhm.
Okay, you played poorly at the end.
Yeah,
And yes, they almost beat Cleveland in that game, but almost doesn't count.
that's not good enough. Nope.
That's not good enough. And on top of that, you got you got Baltimore and Tennessee, which a
That's gonna be
bit
a
worrisome.
really dope game.
That's that's a toss up too, because either Lamar is gonna have that all time game, which I think he's due for.
Hmm.
He's due for it. He has that game. I think he'll shut all the critics up. Then what's the next playoff? Then it's Bears
Let's do
Saints.
the AFC first. Yeah,
Yeah,
I'm gonna do the AFC now.
yeah.
All right, so I'm gonna start with Tennessee Ravens. Like I said before, like you said, the Ravens are on a hot streak right now. Um, Ravens defense is better than Tennessee's defense. I'm gonna go with the Ravens. Pittsburgh versus the Browns. I'm gonna go with Browns because Pittsburgh does not have a running game, and they're making Ben Roethlisberger, who just came off a season-ending surgery last year, throw 40, 50 times a game, and that's just you can't do that. You can't do that. So I'm going with the Browns. Bills versus the Colts. Going with the Bills because they just been killing it this year, honestly. So yeah, that's my picks right there.
Yeah. Then in the NFC, we got Bears Saints. Easily Saints by I got Saints by 20. I'm not even gonna bet that, but like it's the
I got
Bears.
I have the Saints by one score, actually.
Wow, you against Trubisky.
I have
Tr-
that little faith
Okay, dang.
because playoff Saints is not regular season.
Uh, that's how down bad you are. You'll be all right. That you'll be all right. Then who we got next is what's the other? Let me look up the other wild card matchup.
Bucks versus Washington.
Sneaky good game, I think. That's sneaky because I'm not saying I don't trust Tom Brady in the playoffs because duh, the greatest quarterback of all time, and in the playoffs is when he just goes God mode and how he finished the season. They look really good, but honest, I wouldn't be surprised if that game's a lot lower scoring than people think. I don't think they're gonna win. I don't think the football team's gonna win because I don't think they have enough pieces on offense, but that defense could make it a little interesting.
Yeah,
So I would say
if
that's a sneaky interesting game to watch. And
they
then we
like
got Rams Seahawks. Now that's difficult too because we don't know how Jared Goff's gonna play. We don't know how all that's gonna play. And the
maybe
weird thing about
if
the Rams is I never hear a team's coach sound like he's playing on the field more than Sean McVay. It's Sean McVay, great coach.
yeah.
His team has a great record, blah blah blah. But they literally talk about that man like he's playing on the field, and I'm like, whoa, okay, we get it. He's a great offensive mind. Jets, he has all of these actions that things that make it look like jet sweeps, but they're really not jet sweeps. They're passes and they're runs. It's mysterious. It's all disguised. It's very innovative. And I'm like, okay, well, he doesn't play. Yeah, I don't trust Jared Goff in the playoffs. So I'm gonna go with Russell Wilson and the Seahawks. And yeah, those are my picks. My Super Bowl pick as of right now, I really want it to be Green Bay Ravens in my heart of hearts. But the logical me is saying it's going to be Green Bay, Kansas City. And I don't know who's going to win that Super Bowl, honestly, because
That's
Aaron
tough.
Rodgers is on something, which tells me they need to draft a quarterback every year if it's going to make him throw 48 touchdowns and 5 interceptions.
That's a fact.
Because damn,
That made him mad. Yeah, that made him mad.
that
You're
like
not gonna get a wide receiver to help me, but you gonna get a quarterback to replace me? Ah, nah,
exactly.
nah.
He was like, nah, y'all gonna have to trade him and keep him on the bench because I'm balling. And
That's
also,
tough.
shout out to Devontae Adams real quick. Like my
Oh yeah.
favorite underrated. I don't like how underrated he is
You think he's underrated?
because because to me he's never in top five debates as much. He's like always 5 or 4 for some people. To me, this season, and it's because Julio was injured a lot, didn't play as much. Got it. It's Devontae, then I go in between Tyreek and Stephon a lot.
Hmm.
But I'd say Devontae, Tyreek, Stephon Diggs would be four. I think who'd be four? Because there's other wide receivers that I really like, but I really think top three was Devontae, Tyreek, Stephon, then D Hop, DeAndre Hopkins. You can go either way with him, but that's just that's just how I see it. And I really think though, like Devontae Adams, to me, he's been so good for so long, and now people are finally like, oh wow, he's an upper echelon wide receiver. He's doing this. I'm like, bro, I've seen this for years. Like that's what I'm worried about because
Yeah.
I don't know why the Panthers and the Packers play a lot, but we do. And I'm always watching Devontae Adams
Yeah,
on our quarters.
I didn't realize
I'm
that.
always watching Devontae play our quarters, and I'm just sitting back like, ah, crap. All right, they're getting burned. And we were the team that Julio put up 300 against. And, oh, I remember that day.
Oh wow.
Not good days. Not good days at all.
Yes.
But yeah, that concludes the sports section of Spittin' Game. So just so you know, this is what we'll do. We'll mostly talk about whatever's on our mind about sports. Just spit game on that. Next, we're going to talk about music.
Didn't
Now,
game. Yep. Yes, sir.
2020. Now this is this man's wheelhouse. This man is just genius with how he analyzes his music. It's very beautiful to see. You should
Appreciate
follow
it.
his pages. It's special. But for me, what I've seen in music in 2020 overall, like I think despite the crappy year that was 2020, in music, that had to be one of the best years I've ever had. So
Yeah. Easily. Easily.
easily, like some projects that we did hype up forever, like Eternal Take and Whole Lotta Red, some of them underwhelmed. After Hours, however, my favorite album this year,
That was yeah.
yeah,
That's easy.
Griselda came with what they came with. R&B, bunch of new artists popping. I'm gonna share some underrated projects from R&B that I really like. But talk about 2020 and like the year of music and how it felt for you, man.
Wow. Okay. This is a lot. Overall 2020 was an amazing year for music for me. I know for a lot of people they say that it wasn't as great. And I think that's because nobody was outside. Nobody was outside listening to music together, having parties and stuff like that. Well, some people were having parties, but not everybody was having parties and turning up and especially in the summertime where, music seems to be at its peak. But for me, it was great because it was just an escape from the reality of 2020 because that's what I was doing the entire year was listening to albums, reviewing them, analyzing them, really diving into what they were about. And yeah, it was a great year for every genre. Like you said, in rap, Griselda is bringing back that gritty boom bap sound back to mainstream, and I really really appreciate that because personally, I was never alive or it was never prevalent, especially me living in the South. So I never really got to hear that until like recently, and I love how they do it. I love to hear lyricism and stuff like that. But also like you don't even there's not there was a lot of albums this year that didn't have a whole lot of lyricism, but it was just great. It was a great sonically. For instance, Savage Mode 2 by 21 Savage and Metro Boomin. Like that whole sound and that aesthetic that they created about this ghoulish, this low key like haunting type of trap sound was like really really dope. And every time I hear 21 on a new album, he elevates and he constantly improves as an artist, which is crazy to me. That somebody can improve that much every single year or every time he drops. And Metro also improved his ability in making beats, especially trap beats and stuff like that. To have Morgan Freeman in
Narrated album. That's
narrating
hard.
that album, he needs to just narrate an entire. It needs to be a whole album of him just talking over.
Exactly. Because oh, it was fire. That entire and my thing with Spring One, what makes him I was recently listening to I'm Greater Than I Was.
Mhm.
I didn't realize like how good of an artist he really is and how he grows every album. Like I Savage Mode 2 might have been my favorite rap release this year because
Mhm.
just the attention he commanded. And I'm gonna talk about like the Drake feature in a second with like Dating SZA in '08. because like
we have to talk about that. All right, go ahead, go
we
ahead.
got to talk about that. But I really think just the it's weird. He makes violence just sound. It sounds beautiful. It's weird to say it. It sounds so just mesmerizing, and I think that Metro and him is just one of the best collaborations ever.
Never.
It's like the trap version of Justin Timberlake and Timbaland. You feel me? Like
Mhm.
that's what I would say is that combination.
It's
But
up there with Timberland, Justin Timberlake. It's up there with Royce the 5'9" and DJ Premier. It's
yeah,
up there for real. Yeah.
I really I really think though that we're gonna talk about like this whole new trap era. And I really think that the late 2010s should be described more as the Atlanta era and more of instead. And then we're gonna talk about eras and the Drake, Kendrick, J. Cole era. But I
Mhm.
really think that the late 2010s was the era of Atlanta rap and Southern rap in general. Because I haven't heard rap from the South and everybody just loved this sound since the early 2000s when it was when everybody was popping was Outkast and Ludacris and everybody who was hot, T.I. Jeezy, everybody who was hot was popping out of Atlanta. That kind of went a little quiet for a couple of years, and then Trap came, and it's just going. Like Lil Baby, right now, to me, is the best new artist to come out in a couple of
Yeah,
years,
easy, easy.
and it's crazy. But speaking about the Drake era, I think because we were like younger, we don't remember it we don't remember the old Drake as much as like older people know it because we grew up with it. Then we listened to it and now we're like, okay, that's better than all this new stuff he's putting out as we're
Mhm.
getting older. And I think that you got to reflect on this era and say his sound, yes, he basically gave room for people to be soft, to be a little sadder in music. He gave room for that in rap. And he's also a very great rapper. I do want that to be said.
Yeah, he can
But
spit.
I don't think that he's dominated this era because Kendrick has and J. Cole has also. And J. Cole has his space. And what I think J. Cole's doing in this space where he's just like putting on a bunch of other artists that fit that same like woke storyteller, soulful pop rap pocket, he's doing that really well. Kendrick
Yeah.
Lamar, face of the Black Revolution in music, some To Pimp a Butterfly, all won. Damn won a Pulitzer, but didn't manage to win the Grammy for Best Album, and that's still like
Grammys after Grammys.
yeah. And on
Yeah.
this page, there's a lot of Grammy hate. I just want everybody to preface
Oh
this
yeah.
because there's no way The Weeknd didn't get one nomination. Even if, even if you want to say Best Album, I'm fine with him not getting Best Album, and y'all lied about that. But not even having it for song or record of the year. Blinding Lights was everywhere.
Yeah, he had
Everywhere.
that whole album. Like any song on that album for me could be Grammy nominated. It was
Yeah.
that.
That album. And also I want to talk about like how the Weeknd's music should be like I view it with like and I understand his pop appeal, how he changed from his older music, which is like way more darker,
Mhm.
sadder, little hella more misogynistic. Like everybody's like, oh wow, Future's the king of misogyny. I'm like, nah, he had nothing on House of Balloons the Weekend. That man was
It is top.
demon.
Yeah, Weekend is
Yeah,
top.
but
You want to talk about the Drake verse first, and then get into the
yeah.
okay.
So when he says I dated SZA back in '08, I'm just like, bro, you're literally saying yet again I fumbled the bag. Like I just want
Yeah, he always flexes about fumbling the bag. J Lo, I text J
I
Lo.
drug text J Lo.
I
Like,
text J Lo.
bro, congrats. You failed. Mission failed successfully, bro. Like, Drake, stop trying to attach yourself to these successful women that we know and love, and you just gonna be like, hey, I messed up with her, like I messed up with Serena, like I messed up with Rihanna, bro. I love you. I love your music. You don't need to keep doing this to yourself. Because now people going to be looking at you like, so why aren't you with her now, huh?
I
Because she
think
popping.
it's pretty hard, to be honest. It just shows that Drake is human. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, you know, he'd be like, I shot my shot at J Lo just like y'all, but I missed too. You know, I'm Drake. You know, I tried to mess with Serena and that didn't work out. You know, I had SZA for a little bit, but you know, it is what it is. But just the imagery of that, you sleeping with a girl and she's playing SZA, let's say hit different song, right? One of
Yeah.
my favorite R&B songs of this year, and you like, yo, you know that I used to hit scissor. I hit different one. And she's like, oh, okay, that's what's up. But doesn't really care. Y'all still going, bro. That hit hits different. Like
Yeah,
that.
that's that. You're right though. You're right.
Yeah,
But
that is tough. Cause now you hit, are you sleeping with Shorty, thinking about scissor, like, oh, bro,
damn,
that's tough.
that's such a flex. Actually, now I'm thinking about it, it is such a flex.
That is a flex.
But I really think though, as this era continues, I don't think that I think that Drake has an enduring legacy in music that's probably that isn't gonna be touched. And we'll look back on it when we're older and be like, dang, he really did that.
Mm.
But there's people who like try to put him in the Michael Jackson of our era or like and I'm like, nah. Like
I would say
nah.
that.
You'd say that?
Yeah, because um who else would you put in the Michael Jackson of our
Of
era?
our era? If Bruno Mars made more music, it would easily be Bruno Mars. But
Yeah, but he. This is why I say Drake, because like literally everybody knows a Drake, at least one Drake song. Like he's
yeah,
always been on the radio, regardless if you listen to the R&B station, the rap station, the pop station. There's gonna be at least one Drake song on there, and he has dominated radio since I was like 9 years old.
yeah,
From nine to just very recently, as he like finally stopped dominating. But like that's a long span of like a
yeah.
lot of songs, and you know, I'm doing this tournament thing on my Instagram about albums and stuff like that of different decades, and there's
Mhm.
like four different Drake albums in the
Yeah,
2010s. Like you can't because I couldn't take them out. I couldn't
yeah,
just not put them in there. You know what I'm saying? Thank Me Later. You can't just not ignore
yeah,
that. You can't ignore Take Care. You can't ignore Nothing Was the Same. If you're reading this, it's too late. You know what I'm saying? Like those
yeah,
are four solid albums that you just can't forget about when you talk about the 2010s decade. And even Views, like Views might not be considered a classic album, but the songs on there, One Dance, Child's Play, Views, 6 9, like there's
control,
Western Road for
yeah, Fire Desire. Like
yeah.
I will honestly though, it's because of I think we're still living in the moment of what he's doing. Whereas
Mhm.
Michael Jackson's era, we know it's come and went. Like we just know, but we know what he meant to music. And I really don't. I really think it's the same way of how I'm gonna feel when LeBron retires. I'm not gonna fully appreciate the legacy while it's gone, but I'm just gonna enjoy. And quickly on our show, this is how we appreciate music. It's less about the debating about who's the greatest. It's more about just appreciating what they're doing in the space.
Yeah, that's a fact.
Because debating, yes, is going to get you more clicks. Everybody's going to be like, whoa, I totally agree with that or I disagree with that. I, I don't care. But I can easily say, I could just drop this and people are going to hate me. Cole's a better storyteller than Kendrick because 85% of all J. Cole songs are storytelling in some way. In some way. If you listen, and you can argue with me on that so much, but there are so many autobiographical songs on his albums that tell stories that are beautiful.
I have to do
Kendrick,
it. I'm actually not sure who is
J.
because
Cole's a better storyteller.
I,
I will
mm,
literally list. So
because
let me
J
just run
Cole is
through.
great at making songs that tell a story, but Kendrick can curate an entire album that tells one story and have multiple stories every song like
Uh,
that. That's different.
Gotcha. But I'm just gonna throw this out there. We got Power Trip for one, one of his best songs.
Hmm.
Then we got Trouble, Runaway, just the entirety of the Born Center album,
Hmm.
which I think is underrated. January 28th, '03 Adolescence, Tale of Two Cities, Fire Squad, GOMD, No Role Models, Apparently, Love Yours. Next, For Your Eyes Only, literally that entire album. I think, though, that Kendrick, that if we're comparing all three, and yes, this might just be, and it's just simple fact. It's not a debate, it's just fact. Drake, hitmaker. Kendrick, artistry, the best. Musicality, the best. Storyteller, J. Cole. Those are the three. And I really think we should just appreciate them in that era and stop trying to put them in the
Yeah.
greatest of all time, best of all time thing. Because everybody's gonna have their own opinion about it, but you can't deny the fact that they work best in in each of their pockets, and that's why we enjoy all their artists.
That's a
Because
fact.
if I'm not gonna go to listen to Drake to listen to the Black Experience, I'm not. Like,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
like if I'm listening to Drake, I want to imagine that I'm in a Lamborghini with a bottle chick,
That's a fact.
sipping on some rose, like some enjoying my night. Kendrick Lamar, dang, it is hard being black. It's a little difficult. J.
Yeah.
Cole, I'm a human. I'm just living life. Like, you listen to each artist for what they fulfill you to listen to. And this is gonna also go into my belief about trap music. If you go into trap music thinking that, oh wow, I'm going to love this because of pure lyricism,
Lyricism.
it just no,
Yeah.
that's not it for you. And it's also, but if you can go in and enjoy just like the life that they claim to have, and some
Hmm.
of them have it, some of them definitely have it. Meek Mill is definitely about that life. He's a good rapper too. Don't get
Yeah.
me wrong.
Yeah.
Lil Baby about that life. Like, there's rappers who are about that life who I listen to.
Yeah,
But
for
if
sure.
you listen to Playboy Cardi, I'm gonna just look at you a little weirdly because I'm like, oh, because other people's like he's turning rap into this avant-garde, beautiful artistry. Just, and it's like, bro, it's not a Jackson Pollock painting.
I
He's
think,
mumbling.
yeah, I don't get the Cardi like fans at all because he's literally just doing what Young Thug did, but just putting a lot more rock and edge to it. And
Mhm.
that's literally all he's doing. He's mumbling the same. He's not pronouncing his words the same. He's slurring the same. It's like everything is the same. It's just a little bit more rock to it. That's it.
Mhm.
That's literally it. And I used to not like Thug for a long time. I'm starting to like him now, more and more. But I used to not like Thug because of like him not being able to like pronounce his word, me not being able to understand him.
Yeah,
So when Cardi did it, but did it like way worse. Like I just couldn't mess with it. I couldn't mess with it.
yeah. But my thing with Thug is just I go like everybody wants to go for like energy, but there's some Young Thug songs where you're just like, okay, that's actually kind of fire. Like,
Yeah, yeah, for sure. Yeah.
and I think with Whole Lotta Red, and people could, and Cardi fans are gonna like attack us and be like, oh my gosh, you guys are trash for talking bad about Playboy Cardi. I'm like, bro, I literally don't care. You're literally a 12-year-old white kid in your mom's basement. Sit down.
Right.
Anyway, like it was okay. Like, for the hype that it got, I really I really expected it to be as good as Die Lit. And I think that's his best project. I like a bunch of the songs on Die Lit. But I'm just sitting there like, wow, y'all really let him go that far and say his voice can be modulated and sound that completely differently, and you thought, oh, this is gonna sound great. Like, and I think it's your own fault for expecting that. And it's also the leaks and it's a bunch of stuff. But it's
Yeah.
your own fault for you created your expectations for this. Then when it failed from your expectations where you were expecting like a second version of Die Lit, that's not gonna happen. You
Yeah.
can't expect an artist to create something brand new that you're just gonna love and embrace. You gotta, if it sounds good to you, it's gonna sound good to you. But your expectations constantly dictate what you want from your artist, which is why people are saying, "Oh, Drake's falling off." He's still the same potent
No,
lyricist and hitmaker he's been since 2009. I don't want to hear that. J. Cole has not fallen off. None of these artists J. Cole might be getting better towards the end of his career, and that's also something that I want to talk about because how hard he went on Revenge of the Dreamers, like
that was
he
tough.
sounded.
That was tough.
I've never heard him sound that hungry and that competitive in a minute. Like it was beautiful to listen to. Like every verse that J. Cole went was could be put in as one of his best. But I think that just when you put expectations on these rappers and they fail them, they don't really care because they're still gonna get the numbers because of the hype they create. They're still gonna get the money. There's still gonna be some people who enjoy their music. They don't care. So stop trying to hype up and be like, "Oh my gosh, Cardi's the greatest rapper of all time. Cardi's the GOAT." Shut up.
Yeah, but like I said, I don't people who are like that cult-ish about a person isn't in love with the person or the artist. They're in love with the sound that the artist created.
Mm.
So when the artist does something different, they'll be like, "Oh, he's not the same. Oh, he fell off." Same thing with like all right. So literally every artist honestly makes a different album each time. Like you're not gonna get the same artist each time. Every time I hear a Wayne album, every Carter is completely different from the other one. Even Kanye, like Kanye is a completely different artist every single album.
Yeah.
And it's like, and I think it's the same thing for Cardi. It's just that Cardi only has 2 albums, and people don't realize that he's going to change every album. It's years away from where he used to be back when he blew off, when he blew up. So he's a different person who listens to different music, who experienced different things. Therefore, he's going to make different music. You can't expect the same thing at, at all. And honestly, I enjoyed this album a lot more than I did Die Lit. For I don't know why. I think it was more of the production. I like more. And I think that it could have been a decent album if it didn't have freaking 24 songs on it.
Yeah.
Like, if it was just 9, 10, 11 songs on it, it would have been cool. But because artists these days aren't touring and they need the extra money, so they're going to put a whole bunch of songs on their albums to get all the streams that they possibly can in order to get, the amount of money they want to, because, Spotify and all these other DSPs don't pay the artists properly. So that's what they're doing. That's what artists have been doing for a couple years now, especially in 2020. And that's one thing I didn't like about 2020's music, because every artist seemed to have 20 plus songs and then a deluxe and then something else. Like it's too much music. It's oversaturating the music, and the more music you put out, the less I'm probably going to like it. Pick your favorite 10, favorite 11, favorite 12, put that out, and let me be satisfied with that. And I think if Cardi did that, then he would have been straight. But because it's been a long time, because he's put out music, because he hasn't been touring, and he wanted to give his fans what he wanted, because he hadn't made anything to make money off of in a while. I think that's why he did that, and it completely messed up his album. And yeah, people just overreacted with how they viewed Whole Lotta Red. Like his sound back in the day was a fashion. People liked it at the time, and in your taste is going to change. So you might think that Cardi is a nostalgic figure, but when you listen to his new stuff, you're not going to like it, because he's not the same person, and that era is over with, so.
And my thing, and this might be one of the greatest quotes I've ever come up with in my head: nostalgia is the death of happiness. Okay?
Damn.
And that might be a bit too deep but I truly think that nostalgia is always going to ruin you living in that moment, because you're always going to reflect on the happiest things that an album or anything made you feel. You won't appreciate the moment that you're living in. Like, even when you're listening to, like, there's songs I remember listening to when I was in my fields. Like, I can't listen to Eddie Frank Ocean like I used to, because, whew, That was when I was down bad. I was like, dang, bro, this shot even left me. I'm heartbroken. Like, I still love him as an artist. I still respect him, what he can do. But I can't listen to him the same because I'm happier now. If I go
Yeah,
back to the nostalgic, I'm just going to be like, dang, I was really down bad. It forces you to remember, like, the worst, like some of the worst or some of the best things.
oh,
And
yeah,
you cling on to those. Like, I don't think that nostalgia is great and it's the best part about being human because it's like, ooh, memories. But it's
reflect.
also the worst because you're always gonna think, dang, wow, life was really like that. Like everybody's like, oh, 2016, oh, that was such a legendary year for me. And I was like, bro, I was like, 2016. Music was great. Self-esteem was low. Wasn't that happy with life. I wasn't feeling it. Like it's like I I was one of those people who like I think 2020, like for a bunch of us, this is kind of going to be like the wrap up. But 2020 should have been the year to teach us, bro, appreciate the moments, live in the moments, because you don't know when you're going to be locked up in a pandemic, and especially living in the South, deal with people who don't want to wear masks.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm gonna get a little political towards the end, especially with the whole storming of the Capitol. But I just want to say, like, the memories I had of being younger and just embracing and I'm saying younger like I'm like 50 years old, like dude, I'm 18. I've lived I've lived life, had my friends, had my experiences, whoop de whoop. Everything's been great. But I think that when try to figure out how to best say this. Like you're happiest when you don't have nostalgia, when you're not remembering something. Like when you're just in the moment and you're just like, boom, this is great. But whenever like those memories creep up, dang, I was so happy back when this was happening, back when this was popping off, back when like it's gonna prevent you from enjoying your further happiness. So that's why I just try to embrace the moments that have been created.
That's what's up.
And now to get political with Capitol Hill. I don't know if I've ever seen such brazen disrespect for the country that you claim to love, that you claim to revere, than storming the sacred institution that was built by slaves, mind you,
Yeah.
built by other humans of labor, but it's your country. Like, that you stole. Mind you, you stole the land Native Americans were previously on, and slaves built that house, and you're storming it, claiming it that it's your country. Okay, guys. That's my first issue. And the second issue is some people are saying we don't want them to be shot. We don't I was like, we don't want we just don't want them to we want the cops to treat us like that. I'm like, hey, if the cops want to keep the same energy, let them keep the same energy. I'm
That's fair. That's
like,
fair.
and it's not me trying to have a defeatist thing about racism because it's horrible. I'm tired of it. I live it every day. I'm just at a point where I'm just like, yo, I hope this can change, but if not, stack my chips, make sure the fam's good, and just get on out of here. Cause that's kind of how I want it to end. I don't. Do I think that Joe Biden's gonna magically fix Americans' problems? Obviously not. They just stormed the Capitol building and he lost. There's still people that believe that this election was rigged.
Yeah. And there's
Still,
people to believe that until they die. So
everybody and their mama has said, yo, bro, he lost. The courts, every state official is saying that they lost. And my thing is like, you don't, people who don't see this as an act of treason against America, and I truly believe America is the greatest lie ever told, but you have deluded people into thinking that by attacking people who are trying to change your circumstances, that you're going to magically make this country better? Like, you're making America great again? You're threatening innocent people, black and brown people, based on prejudice, and you think you're making this country greater. Like that, it doesn't make any sense. But what are your thoughts on just Capitol?
yeah, I laughed. I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it because we had nothing to do with it. My black people didn't have nothing to do with it. You know
Was
what I'm saying?
chilling.
You was chilling at home watching from afar at a safe distance. I was laughing because it's just so much irony that goes into it. People be like, "Oh, you're mad that oh, you're getting shot by cops. Okay, it is what it is. Get over it. Don't burn anything." But you go to the Capitol and you put bombs in the Capitol. You know, like, well,
Like Black Lives Matter are terrorists, and I'm like,
like,
weird.
like back the blue and have the American flag with the blue strip on it, but you kill a cop. You know, like a capital cop died in it makes no sense to me, man. It really doesn't. It's complete hypocrisy. It's complete irony. And when it gets to that point, you can't do anything else but laugh at it. You can't take it serious because at that you have to realize at some point people are just insane. People are just illogical because a lot humans are built off of emotions. We feel a certain way, and at some point we don't care about the facts. We don't care about the reality of things. If this is how we feel, if this is what we believe, if this is what we value, then there's no way you can change our minds. And I think that anybody who stresses over this or tries to argue with other people over this is just stupid, because it's just like you just have to laugh at it. It's just funny. It's funny to see this, right? It's funny to see the capital of the United States.
Yeah, it's funny to see white people attack other white people
It
for
is.
a white dude beating another white dude. Is it going to change a system that is run mostly by white dudes? Like,
You would have thought this would have happened back when Obama was president. That would have made
thanks.
more sense. But it doesn't.
But like, yo,
Biden is not even a liberal. Like
he's a centrist. Like he ain't even all for
even a
liberal policies. Like, and my thing is, I want people to realize that when all of us turned out to vote, it was to get rid of Trump. Biden wasn't the best alternative out of all of them.
no,
And it is what it is. Because I'm like,
not even top five.
it wasn't even my choice. And we also got Kamala. Hey, not because we go to the same school as her, not gonna say anything because Delta's gonna hop in and just kill me. No, love you, Kamala, love you, girl. Shout out HU 1867, baby, love you, Shotty. But my thing is, I don't think that I don't think that Biden would have been the choice of most people in our demographic, but he was the better alternative than this. And that's clearly, you see, that's why we voted. Because once you see the Capitol like that, like, that's what they think when he lost a fair election. And and my thing is, it's against a white dude. Like, I would get it. I would get it if there was I would and even so, I think it's stupid. And what I'm saying, I would understand, like, this is complete hyperbole. But, like, if it was another black dude and y'all were that angry, I'd be like, all right, well, we know they're racist. I was just like, damn, y'all didn't even put in any, like, cognitive thought into this. And he's not, and I don't think this country's going to drastically change. I really thought we were going to get back to the regularly scheduled racism. You know, the fake activism, the fake wokeness, just everything. I thought we were just going to get back to that. But no, it's accelerating, and I don't think it's going to end anytime soon.
Oh nah, it's not. But yeah, that is
we gotta hope, and we must soldier on. And I'm just like, yeah, I'm gonna just do what makes me happy and avoid racism at all costs. Like, it's gonna happen, but
really, this country doesn't care about me, so I don't care about it. I just think it's funny that the country that bombs other places because they want them to have democracy is now being taken over by people who voted for somebody who is authoritarian, borderline fascist.
Yeah.
Like,
I know it's not borderline fascism. It is fascism.
Yeah.
And my thing with this fascism is, like, the Republican Party, Yo, I ain't never seen so many people switch on their homeboy like this.
Oh God,
Like,
Pence unfollowed bro on Twitter. He was like, he
I
was
was
like,
like,
"Oh, my
this ain't me.
Trump."
This ain't me. We good.
Yeah,
So
thanks.
that,
He said, "This is a disgrace. I had nothing to do with this. I don't like this." He unfollowed him. That was, bruh.
Pence, Lindsey Graham, who else? Mitch McConnell too. Mitch,
Yeah, even Mitch McConnell. Like,
look,
what? Yeah,
first
that
off,
was,
for Mitch McConnell, you couldn't give us $2,000, but you want to stand here and
yeah,
act like you want some moral high ground that the people you ain't give money to want to attack the Capitol.
yeah.
That's you bugging. You bugging, bro. Yo, and to all the Republican people who might be in the comments, hey, I don't like you either. Thanks. Love y'all. But I'm real about this. Like I have my political beliefs are just like I want all people, regardless of who you are, to have equal opportunities to get whatever they want in life. If they don't want to get it and they just want to die and sit there, cool.
That's
If that's what y'all want to do, let that be. But the rest of us who want to actually succeed, and yes, this might be because of a system of white supremacy that put a bunch of us into poverty because of slavery and blah blah blah. All of that, yes, we might be in trouble because of that for sure. That's why black kids want to hustle and want to succeed because we've seen so many other black people do it.
yeah,
That is why. That's why we're going to this school. That's why we're going to Howard because we know that we will be chosen to be successful in these fields filled with a bunch of white people, and they will have prepared us for that. Yes, we get it. But also, there's this sneaking suspicion of, huh, hopefully this works. And if it doesn't, it's terrifying. And that's what being black is at this moment. Like, you see the progress, like, hey, but even still, it's like you see good change, but you don't see enough of it. It's like you see just a crumb of change, and you know that the cake isn't that far. It's
yeah,
not that far, but it's just like, oh, okay, we're gonna actually have black voice actors. Like we're gonna have black people be featured prominently. And I don't know if you've seen the movie Soul yet. Have you seen it?
Nah, I really want to though. I really
Okay,
want.
no spoilers. It's a great movie. Like what
Mhm.
the concepts it delves in, the representation, amazing. Still have some issues with it. I'll bring it up once you watch it. Watch it this weekend, and we'll talk about it in the next episode. But yeah, I just really think though, being black, it's like it's described. It's a great party until the cops show up. Like that's what being black is.
real,
Like
real talk.
it's the best party ever until you see the cops. And you're just like, ah, damn.
Gotta go.
We gotta go. They go crazy.
Fuck with
We
y'all.
were fine. We were just chilling. And especially with music and sports, we dominate it so much, but we don't get it. Only a few of us get paid like we dominate it.
Yeah, yeah,
Like, and that's what's so sad. And like you see with this artistry, like we get pigeonholed. Like there can't be true black pop artists because then they're just gonna be R&B and soulful. I
hmm
don't think that that's a bad thing, but I still am like, we should give some love to black pop stars too, because there's the black kids who like rock music. There's the
yeah,
black kids who listen to like punk music. Like
yeah.
I'm one of those kids who was just raised listening to a bunch of different music.
Mhm.
Like my mom plays a bunch of like Shania Twain country music, and I'll listen to it. I jam. I'm not gonna be here saying like, yo, I'm the biggest country music fan ever, but I'm like, I can tolerate it. But like when your fan base is mostly white Republican people,
It's tough to
it's like
support it. Yeah,
it kind of spoils it. And I want music in general to just be enjoyed with by everybody, but I secretly wish we gatekeeped a little, just a smidge,
yeah, we have to do.
because
No, that's a fact.
uh, I
We'll
just
talk about
don't
it.
think that like white people listening to our music, I'd be like, oh, it's like yay, because I see who's in Travis Scott's mosh pits. It ain't us. We can't afford the tickets. Like, keep it to be like Travis Scott, your ticket's too expensive. We know who's in the mosh pits. Majority of it ain't us. It's a bunch of white people saying the N word and chanting your name and being fans of
Mhm.
you. Great.
Yeah,
It's it's how it is. But I think that music should just be enjoyed by people. But gatekeeping should have happened way earlier on because now white people are just taking our music and being like, yeah. Like when I see like Pitchfork and the Grammys, like y'all don't understand our music like how we understand it. So why do we pay such attention to you? Why do we clamor for your awards? Like the BET Awards, even it's still like we don't care about that. We want Grammys. We want the white validation. It's
I don't
just
know
like,
why. I don't know. We gotta talk about that in another episode because I gotta work. So
yeah.
but
This has pretty much been the show. That was a bit sporadic and a little tangent on me, but that's pretty much how my closes are going to be. A little chaotic, but it's going to capture what it means to be black, a black kid who likes sports and likes music. I am Christopher Davis.
I'm Robert Hudson.
All right, this has been Spinning Game.
All right,
See ya.
y'all. Peace.